Good evening and welcome to this Week in Review. Tonight's stories include 3rd Annual Cadet Speak-Off, Christmas bulbs stolen from the town's largest tree, the Anglican Church Mitten Tree, these stories plus community events, the BBS Playbill, Off the Rack, and more. Coming up after this.
It takes community to heal a village. In northern Mali, USC Canada works with local partners to find community-based ways to ensure mother-child health, food security, and jobs. Canadian agencies are helping to renew and strengthen communities throughout the developing world. This means greater opportunities for global villagers. Canadians in partnership, finding solutions that work.
For many years now, Berger Broadcasting has been lighting up for Christmas with the town's largest Christmas tree. However, it has not been without problems. The biggest problem is that individuals have been stealing the bulbs. This past Friday, the tree was made ready for the upcoming lighting on December the 8th. When Monday morning rolled around, 12 bulbs had been stolen from the tree. This is very disappointing, annoying, and not to mention expensive. The RCMP has been notified. The person or persons responsible for this senseless act of vandalism will be prosecuted if and when they are caught. If the person or persons responsible for this doesn't like the tree, we ask that they think about others in our community who enjoy coming out for the lighting of the tree. We also ask them to think about all those who can't get out to enjoy the events, like lighting of the BBS Christmas tree. These people can only enjoy these events by watching them on the community channel. Let this be your Christmas gift to others. Please don't take any more of the Christmas bulbs. If anyone has any information concerning this matter, please contact the RCMP. On Monday of this week, we were invited to the 3rd Annual Sea Cadet Speak-Off. Commanding Officer Ron Caldwell welcomed the 60-some people to the event. The topics for this year were Canada's commitment to war on terrorism, If I Were Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador, and Cadet Summer Training Adventure. As in previous years, there were 2 divisions, Junior Cadets, ages 12 to 14, and Senior Division, Cadets ages 15 to 18. Each speech had to be between 4 and 5 minutes long. In the Junior Division, there were 2 speakers, Kaylee Caldwell and Monica Patriquin. Monica Patriquin spoke on Canada's commitment to the war on terrorism.
September 11th was a terrible ordeal. It contained hatred, conflict, and worst of all, death. But since then, many steps have been taken to ensure that occurrences such as this will not happen again. Good evening, officers, judges, parents, guests, and fellow cadets. My name is Leading Cadet Monica Patriquin, and I have chosen to speak to you about Canada's commitment to the war on terrorism. According to Webster's Dictionary, terrorism is defined as an organized system of intimidation, whereas intimidation is to frighten as by threats. But as everyone knows, September 11th was not a threat, it was an action. From the beginning of the crisis, Canadians have offered support to our American neighbors, offering everything from medical supplies and blood services to rescue equipment and professionals. And the federal government to Canada would also offer any military help required for the fight against terrorism, as soon as the U.S. asks for it.
Kaylee Caldwell was next up, and she spoke on Cadet Summer Training Adventure.
My Cadet Summer Training Adventure. Welcome judges, parents, officers, and other cadets. I'm Able Cadet Kaylee Caldwell, and I'm going to tell you about my Cadet Summer Training Adventure. This past summer, 6 other ACs and I went to HMCS Acadia for our 2-week general training adventure. On July 20th, the 7 of us boarded the bus for the 2-hour bus ride to Stephenville. We then boarded a plane for Halifax. After the short plane ride, we boarded the bus for the 3-hour ride to camp. We stopped at McDonald's for lunch in Lower Sackville first. We arrived at camp and we signed in at the main office. On Sunday, we got to hang around the camp and meet new people. We had 4 courses we needed to complete. They were gunnery, music, sail, and bosun. When we went on our music course, we got to play 3 instruments. They were the clarinet, the snare drum, and the trumpet. I learned to play hot cross buns on all 3 of the instruments.
For the senior division, there were also 2 speakers, Victor Benoit and Joey Eyre. Victor Benoit chose the topic, If I Were Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, officers, judges, and fellow cadets. I'm Cadet Officer Benoit, but tonight, don't think of me as a cadet. Think of me as the future leader of our province. As Premier, I will work diligently with the current issues plaguing our province. And as you all realize, no one person can possibly handle this monumental task alone. It requires the carefully coordinated teamwork of a well-qualified cabinet to work through the economic and political issues of this province. Newfoundland is a province rich in resources. We have the vast oil and gas reserves of Hibernia, Ben Nevis, and White Rose, the iron ore and nickel of Labrador, the hydro of Upper and Lower Churchill. I realize that we had to wait another 40 years until we can get our hands on the upper, but we still have the Lower Churchill, the wood of Newfoundland and Labrador, and the fast-growing tourist industry.
Next up was Joey Eyre, and he spoke on his Cadet Summer Training Adventure.
Cadet Summer Training Centers are a great place to meet new people from all over the country. There are a lot of good times, and there are also a lot of bad times. Homesickness and personal illness are just some of the bad times. But the good times, you never know what's going to happen. Some of these things even happen while you're sleeping. Good evening, judges, officers, cadets, guests, and fellow speakers. My name is Petty Officer First Class Joey Eyre, and tonight I'll be talking to you about what can happen at summer training centers while you're sleeping. I have spent my birthday at camp for the last 3 years. It hasn't been easy. If you can only think about what people does here on your birthday, think about a crowd of boys who you have just met and what they could do on your birthday. Well, when I was in BC attending HMCS Quadrant, I learned exactly what they can do on your birthday. We were watching a fireworks display from the nautical days we got, and well, I looked at my watch, 11:30, my birthday, only a half hour away.
The winners of each division will go on to St. John's on December the 12th to compete in the provincial competition. This competition includes representatives from Sea, Army, and Air Cadets. After all the speakers were finished, the judges for the evening are Calder Healthcare Center technician Wendy Rose and pharmacist Miranda Thornhill went to tally the final scores and to choose the winner for each division. Judge Derek Strong announced the winners for each division.
Very much. Who wants to know the winner? Sorry, I have to leave. Thank you very much for the opportunity to come and judge your speak-off. It's a lot of fun, and the hard part about judging is judging. Basically, that's the hard part. And it's the unfortunate part that you have to pick a winner. And I think from what we've seen tonight, we have 4 strong candidates, and we have to pick. We have to send 2 people to St. John's and 2 to stay behind. But I'm quite confident that we could probably send anybody to St. John's, and that would do your corps very proud. No question about it. So give yourselves a hand for that. Do you want to know the winner now? No, you gotta wait. Everybody got 10 out of 10 on deportment. This corps has exceptional deportment. You should all be proud of yourselves. It's been evident to me every time I've seen you dress that you take pride in your uniform. You take pride in public appearance. It was an honor to stand and march with you at the Cenotaph on November 11th and to see the way you turn yourselves out. Another round of applause for the corps for deportment, because no doubt you have regular inspections, and you just had an annual inspection, correct?
Visit, yes.
Right. And no doubt that you all do very well every week. talk about the speeches. Speeches were all fun to listen to. We heard a couple of examples of fun at summer camp. Makes me want to join cadets. I wouldn't mind showing up for cadet camp next summer. I'm getting a shush. I'm not allowed to go to cadet camp. You probably don't want me at cadet camp. After that unfortunate incident at the Boy Scout camp, they're not allowed to go to camp anymore. My mother's still mad about that, but you know, those things happen. It's fun to hear about people's experiences, and there's a lot of humorous things. The duct tape one is a pretty good one. I like that one. Yeah, that was very good. In any case, what we found very difficult was judging everybody on their comparing speeches because they were all so different. We had a politician, right? We had an anti-terrorist activist, and we had two who obviously had some interesting experiences at camp. So it's difficult to compare from one to the other, but we did come up with two winners, and two who could equally be winners with this much more practice. And next year, or tomorrow night, it could be a totally different outcome. So in the junior category, the first runner-up is Kaylee Caldwell. The winner, Monica Patrick. In the senior category, we have a first runner-up of Joey Hare. And the winner of the senior event is Victor Benedict. And I would just like to say to Victor, the three judges, we all intend to vote for you whenever you run.
We congratulate the winners and wish them every success in the provincial competition. The third annual Sea Cadet Speak-Off will be shown in its entirety on Wednesday, December the 11th, after TV Bingo. For the past number of years, the Anglican Church has sponsored a mitten tree. This is a project that is the responsibility of the Outreach Committee of the church. The tree, in fact, is a bare tree with no leaves. Some would call it a Charlie Brown tree. Nevertheless, once the tree has been dressed with knitted items, it looks quite colorful. Members of the community are asked to bring knitted items to put on the tree during part of the Advent season. It usually begins the last week of November and continues until the second week of December. Once the project has been completed, the knitted items are removed from the tree and packed by the Outreach Committee. Then they are shipped to Montreal to be given out to immigrants coming into our country. However, for a few years now, some of these mittens and socks have stayed in our own community. It is a great feeling to be part of a community that will come together on a project such as this and help others. Each year, individuals of this town knit socks, slippers, mittens, caps, and sweaters to send to strangers they will probably never meet. This is the true spirit of giving. Stay tuned for more of This Week in Review coming up after this.
Participaction wants you to know excess weight is a serious health risk. Dr. David Lau.
The more overweight you are, the more likely your lifespan is shortened.
These people have never met each other, yet they share a common challenge.
You start going through the dieting game, and I would lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight.
I can't pass a pastry display without, oh geez, I'd love to have one of those.
Excess weight contributes to heart disease, diabetes, and high blood pressure. Sandra and Dave are succeeding by reducing their weight.
So we think more about if we want to enjoy the next 20 years, what is it that we have to do?
They're taking the first steps, getting active, making healthy food choices, and talking to their doctor.
We do live longer if we engage in regular physical activity.
It's like a freedom for me. When you feel good about yourself, everything in your life seems better. Probably it's the greatest benefit of all.
Take your first step with Participaction.
The Burgeo Fire Department will be having their annual Breakfast with Santa on Sunday, December the 22nd. This is one of the most enjoyable events of the Christmas season. The fire department invites Santa Claus and the residents of the community to the fire hall for breakfast. Besides being a great fundraiser for the fire department, it is a wonderful time of fellowship. During Breakfast with Santa, many people home for Christmas get a chance to meet and see people they wouldn't see otherwise. It is a comfortable, unhurried atmosphere. You are greeted with a warm welcome and friendly, smiling faces. This is a family event, and the children love it as much or more than the adults. For those people whose children are grown up, it provides wonderful memories of when their children were little. The fire department serves a wonderful breakfast at a great price. If you haven't attended Breakfast with Santa before, please plan to attend this year. You won't be disappointed. The deadline to nominate a police or RNC officer for the Police of the Year Award is Friday, January the 10th, 2003. VOCM and Crime Stoppers are sponsoring the Police Officer of the Year Award. You may nominate a police officer or RNC officer from our area or anywhere in the province. The Police Officers of the Year Awards is a project designed to recognize a member of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and the Royal Newfoundland Constabulary currently working in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. Nominees should have exhibited outstanding qualities above and beyond the call of duty. Nominations will be accepted from the general public or any police officer. Individuals may submit more than one nomination. However, each nomination must be accompanied by a separate form. Nomination forms are available at the local police office or on the internet at www.nf.crimestoppers.ca. Please mail or fax your nomination to VOCM Cares, Crime Stoppers, Police Awards, P.O. Box 5591, St. John's, Newfoundland, A1C 5X1, or you can fax them at 709-729-8234. On Thursday of this week, the volunteer fire department responded to a chimney fire at the residence of Bonnie and Les Iscott. The fire department received a call at approximately 1:15 p.m. and about 45 minutes later, the fire was out. The fire department takes this opportunity to remind homeowners with wood stoves and wood furnaces to clean your chimney at least once per month. The Home Fire Prevention Guide tells us that a chimney should be cleaned immediately if there is more than 1/4 of an inch of creosote built up. A clean chimney cuts down on a chance of a chimney fire. The Burgeo Fire Department are still in need of more volunteers. If you are 19 years of age or older, the fire department invites you to pick up an application and become a member. Now over to Mayor Ann with the council report.
Good evening, everyone. Burgeo Town Council report for Wednesday, December the 4th, 2002. Council held its regular board meeting, and we had 6 members in attendance. Meeting was fairly short. The first item up for discussion was the hockey rink, and Council was informed that the Recreation Commission met with Minister Oliver Langdon, Minister Kelvin Parsons, and Mr. Bill Matthews from the federal government. I think it was a week Friday gone. they held a meeting regarding the rink, and apparently the meeting was very successful. The members came away from there with the impression that there's no problem in accessing the money, and the money which is being raised for this purpose appears to be sufficient to access enough government money to put a structure up there over the rink. Also that they have agreed to put in this ecosystem, and whereby there will be artificial ice will be available. So it appears as if all three government members were on side. They also agreed that this is a very low priority item in the Canada-Newfoundland infrastructure program. Therefore, it was better to go with the Capital Works program, and I guess that's the way they're going to go. So I think that until we see some construction there now, that we can lay that one to rest. The water system has sort of been put to rest as well. We're just waiting for startup times and so on. Economic Development Officer, I don't know if you people are aware, but this has been in the makings by the Burgeo Town Council now for quite some time. That Burgeo would like to, the council, and I believe I feel pretty certain that the BDDB also would like to have a development officer that is responsible for Burgeo only. At the present time, you know that our development officer is working with Burgeo, Ramia, Grey River, and Francois, and it is our thing as we see it, you know, that sometimes this puts the development officer into quite a precarious situation, whereby he could be in a conflict of interest, and that would be no blame of whoever held the position. The situations could arise whereby you know, you're just forced into that position, which is not a good position. So therefore, there have been letters written to the zone board and to Minister Parsons and so on, and we are trying to see if we can have a EDO position for Burgeo only. With regards to the government shed, it was hoped, or it was felt that we would be starting work sometime in December, around about the 3rd or 4th of December, to enlarge, put the extension on the shed out there. HRD have come through with the funding. However, they would prefer that the work would be delayed until spring, April or May. And council certainly agrees with this. You know, when you start working something in the winter, starting in December, it's a very, very difficult time to get anything done. It doesn't set anything back with regards to sea urchins or what have you that new facility will be used for. So therefore, council was in full agreement with this, and I'm sure everyone will agree that $1 in the spring is as good as $2 in the winter when you're trying to work outside. So that's where that stands, and so come spring you should see activity out there. But in the meantime, council have agreed to try put up some barricades as good as we can to protect someone from going off over the side in that excavation which is taking place there. However, you know, we would ask people to exercise extreme caution when in that area, especially during the winter time. We can only do so much, but council have identified it as being a dangerous area, and we're doing everything that we can to keep someone from going in there. But you know, caution has got to be the word when operating out in that area. That was brought forward and unanimously agreed on that come spring there will be a committee set up, and one of the councillors has volunteered to head up that committee with regard to going around Burgeo and identifying residential and commercial land, or land that can be used for residential building and commercial building. You know, we just don't have that here in Burgeo, You know, I'm not saying that there's going to be a subdivision put in. Council is not going to develop any land or anything like that. But we will be identifying land where people can build, and you know, they may have to build their own road, put in their own water and so on. But in the meantime, we will have something at council office whereby if someone comes in and says that they want to build a house or they want to build a business or an industry or whatever, so that something will be on file in council whereby the town manager will be able to look at a person and say, yes sir, you can build here or so on. It will not be developed, but it will be identified. With regard to our budget, town manager advised that he hopes to have it ready to present to council at the next meeting. No doubt it will probably take another meeting or so before that, before it is completed. But in the meantime, the budget is coming along fine. There was routine matters discussed regarding snow clearing and so on and so forth. And that was just about it for council for this week. So we'll see you again before Christmas. Good night.
Off the rack. This week as we scanned our tape rack, we came across a tape of most of this year's graduation class singing in a Christmas musical. Let's look back to December 1995. Community events. The next scheduled TV bingo will be hosted by the Sea Cadets on Wednesday, December the 11th at 7 p.m. Cards are $1 each or 6 for $5 and are available from any member of the Sea Cadets and in most stores around town. Please support the Sea Cadets, play TV bingo, and you could win $300. The deadline for donations to the Anglican and United Church's Christmas hamper is Monday, December the 16th. If you haven't already made a donation, please consider making a donation of a turkey or vegetables, or if you wish, a money donation. If you need a hamper or you know of someone who needs one, please call Reverend Russell at 886-2289, Reverend Sellers at 886-2222, Hannah at 886-2158, Elsie at 886-2559, or Linda at 886-2802. Help us help others in our community during this holiday season. The Burgeo Fire Department are selling tickets on an emergency kit which includes propane stove, propane lamp, propane cylinders, smoke detector, fire extinguisher, flashlight, batteries, and lighter. Tickets cost $1 each or 3 for $2 and are available from any member of the fire department. Draw date is Sunday, December the 22nd. Please support the fire department. Buy your ticket today. The driver examiner will be in Burgeo on Wednesday, December the 11th to do written and road tests as well as photo IDs. The Burgeo Fire Department will be having breakfast with Santa on Sunday, December the 22nd from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Santa will be there visiting with the children, and members of the fire department will be serving pancakes, toast, bologna, tea, coffee, milk, and juice. Plan to join us. We look forward to serving you. The Anglican Church Vestry will be having a Christmas bake sale on Thursday, December the 12th, beginning at 2 p.m. There will be baked goods, craft items, and $1 prizes. Come along and bring a friend. On Sunday, December the 15th, from 2 to 4 p.m., BBS has invited Santa and Mrs. Claus to our studio. They are very excited about taking your phone calls and talking to you about what you would like to have for Christmas. You can talk to Santa and Mrs. Claus by calling 886-2935 or 886-1243. Be sure to join us. We're looking forward to your calls. If your group or organization has an upcoming event planned, we would be happy to advertise it for you. Just call the BBS office by Wednesday of each week to have items included in this portion of our broadcast. That concludes the community events segment of tonight's broadcast. BBS Playbill. Tune in on Tuesday for a rebroadcast of Pansy's Garden. Try your luck on Wednesday by playing Sea Cadet TV Bingo. Following the bingo, we will have the 3rd annual Sea Cadet Speak-Off. On Thursday, we will have Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. Join Pans and the gang for 2 stories, a craft, and lots of fun on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on Pansy's Garden. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. We would like to remind our younger viewers that next Sunday, December the 15th, beginning at 2 p.m., Santa and Mrs. Claus will be in our studio taking your phone calls. So please tune in. For This Week in Review, I'm Marie Rose. Good night and God bless.